Hey everyone, my name's Matt.
And my name's Kate.
And you're listening to Different Strokes, a show where we examine and discuss individual perspectives, ideas, and artistic journeys.
Are you a musician, visual artist, dancer, filmmaker, or even a small business owner? Well, this podcast will be a resource to help you navigate your personal artistic endeavours.
So come hang out with us and let's chat. All right, all good to start? Hello everybody and welcome back to Different Strokes. Today we're going to talk about opportunities and maximising them once you have them. We're going to talk about creative avenues for yourself, creating new ones, and being a multifaceted artist, like turning hobbies into, actual tangible jobs and projects. We're going to talk about handling the potentially brutal nature of theatre and the performing arts industry. And we'll touch on being busy, juggling multiple projects and what that really means personally and professionally as a performer, with eggs in a lot of different baskets. All right, we'll get underway. I hope you're enjoying the last days of summer and those final, days of the hot rays of sunshine. Speaking of hot rays of sunshine, our guest today is a triple threat performer from the UK and Tasmania. He's a trained vocalist and recording artist. He's performed with Studley Moore, Unearthly Frequencies, the Southern Gospel Choir, and the Australian Musical Theatre Festival several times. He's released 2 new singles this year, New Light and Jacaranda. You can find them wherever you find your music and where you listen to it. He's a co-producer for the Sessions Project, and we'll probably touch on that, I reckon, later. He's a stage and screen actor, currently touring with Book of Mormon Australia. He's also performed in Songs for a New World, Anyone Can Whistle, Sweeney Todd, Les Mis, 21 Chump Street, The Old Man and the Old Moon, Shane Warne the Musical, which is where I first met him. He's also been part of the event production team at the Theatre Royal Hobart. He's a rumour to some. He's a legend to all who know him. And he's the next act in your story. Ladies and gentlemen, Prophecy Mudzingwa.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, mate, what an intro. Fantastic.
I'm blushing.
Oh, goodness me. That's wonderful. Prof, thank you so much for joining us. It's absolutely delightful to have you here. We're so excited. Thank you. This is awesome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to just share and talk to you guys.
Brilliant.
Where do we even start?
I don't know. Well, you've mentioned that you did Shane Warne the Musical. Yeah. That's how you guys met.
Yes.
I think I met you just through Unearthly Frequencies. I think it was a Dark Mofo gig that I first saw you.
Freezing.
Oh, it's freezing.
So cold.
That was cold, yeah. Everyone looked rugged up, but you all still looked really cool as well, because you're so stylish on stage, so it looked fantastic. The cold does well for you,
But also Belle Richardson, you can find her doing music down in Hobart. She was feeding us those warm hands things.
Yeah, the hand warmers.
Lifesaver.
Yeah, you crush them and you put them in your pocket and you just sort of fondle them while
That's such a Belle thing to do. I love that.
Always very nurturing. Looking after us.
I love that. What a great idea. I love that. I don't know why, for someone who always gets very cold, me, I don't know why I don't think of that sort of stuff. Bizarre. Anyway, I met you then and immediately blown away by not only the kind of music, your insane voice, the range of your voice, your stage presence, the whole thing was just so amazing, and so amazing to see that in Tassie as well. I mean, I know there's lots of that in Tassie too, but it was so different, I think, to everything else that I was seeing at that time. I think that was the first moment. And then I've just, because a lot of bands have, you've been in lots of other bands in Hobart as well, so I've seen you perform in different respects down there too. So I think that's sort of a nice place to start off. But you're currently in Melbourne with the Book of Mormon. Talk to us about that. So you've just come from Sydney?
Yeah. So I think we're about 9 months in. I've been touring around with the show. It's been a fun time. It's just getting used to the lifestyle of professional theatre, the high intensity, the high level of talent that we get to work with, and the amazing networks and audiences and theatres that you get to work in. It's been such a fun time.
Yeah. But this is not your first stage performance. Obviously, Matt had rattled off a whole bunch of your other past experiences. This is probably the biggest performance that you've been involved in?
Yeah, this is like my first like professional debut.
Yeah.
I've done like a lot of community shows in Tasmania, which has been like, I think of them as like reps in the gym. It's sort of like helped me get to where I am and built up my identity and like resume and lifestyle. It sort of like led me to what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And how was the last year in Sydney with the production?
It's been amazing. Like it was a massive like life change, especially for me. Like I'm used to moving city to city, but doing it all by myself and sort of like having like that reset after trying to build myself in Tasmania to go to Sydney as someone who's stepping into like the professional world for the first time in theatre, which I haven't done like in a minute because I focused on my music side and getting used to, you know, the high level of vocal training, the physical movements, the schedule and everything. It's been intense, but it's been amazing, I think.
Yeah, awesome. We're so excited for you. Book of Mormon is an incredible show. If you haven't seen it, guys, listeners, if you haven't seen it, grab tickets, go along. It's absolutely hilarious. The quality of the performance as well is absolutely brilliant.
And Mormons love it too.
And Mormons love it too.
Unbelievably, Mormons love it.
It's fantastic. So it's an American production to start with.
It's the South Park guys.
Yeah, it's the South Park, Matt and Trey. So they would have debuted the show 2011.
Right.
They basically like worked with like a bunch of like composers. We got to meet one of them, Stephen Remus, who joined us in June in part of like our rehearsals and had to put the show together with like the South Park, the concepts of the show and like the nuance of the show whilst not playing into the comedy, sort of like the emotional weight with the dark themes, but also the timing of everything and how important each of the pieces come together. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Awesome. One of my questions for you was going to be, or is, I should say, not going to be. Do you remember the first moment that you realised that being a performer was going to be a hard life? And I don't know whether I'd call it a hard life, but maybe you can talk about how you would frame it.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been like 2023. I feel like up to that point, I did a bit of like community theatre. I started uni like throughout COVID, but it got to like where I was meant to like finish uni, and I was like, that was probably like my busiest year with like shows, gigs. I did like 30 plus auditions in like one summer, and it got to a point where I started off 2023 and I just wasn't sure how to go about this. I wasn't sure who I was because I gave so much of myself to like my work that I forgot what it is to look after yourself as a performer, what it is to balance your lifestyle and the work that you do. So I sort of like went into like burnout and just like was trying to navigate the world and how I can put my best foot forward and what I wanted to do with my art rather than creating it for the sake of it, I guess. So I guess that sort of like period of like burnout sort of helped me grow in a way.
Have you written music about that? Like,
what's that, sorry?
Have you written a song about that?
I think it actually started my songwriting.
Yeah.
Because I think after that period, I was just I was struggling mentally and I just wasn't sure of myself. And it was my vocal teacher, Maria Lurigi, who encouraged me to start songwriting. You know, just like working some lyrics. I got to work with Dan Jackson, who I'd worked on like a bunch of projects with in the upcoming years, and we got to like write a few songs. And started off with my song Mirrors, which was basically about identity. I sort of took this like concept from like Snow White and like the mirror on the wall, and like trying to find your identity in what you see in yourself, I guess, and who you are and everything. So
I thought it was really interesting on the way here that you mentioned that you were using songwriting now as a journal. Has that been how you've used it all the way from when you started songwriting? Just getting your thoughts out and just getting it on paper sort of thing?
Yeah, I feel like it started off like that. And then I was writing sort of for gigs, and I was like, how do I want to make people feel? And then what did I want to feel? Because a lot of like performing is about that for me, and you know how it affects me, but also how it affects other people in the room. And then sort of like going into this job where the schedule was a bit more intense, I sort of had to find a way to balance the shows with the songwriting. So I was like, let me just write like after shows. It can be my way of like winding down, like my version of like letting my thoughts out, but also just like putting some like music underneath it and seeing how I feel with it.
Yeah, very cool.
Do you feel that there's an emotional cost to being in such a show that's always so bubbly and high energy, and doing that 6 days a week?
Yeah, I think that's probably like one of the most like surprising things I found about this job, because I didn't get trained in dancing or acting, so I thought I'd struggle with that. But then those sort of things, you sort of like people hold you in that space, and you can sort of like pick those things up. But the thing that I was trying to pick up was how to balance your mental health around that. Yeah, I guess that just balancing that with the lifestyle. And
you seem very self-aware around this though. Like obviously having such a crazy year in 2023 and being able to look introspectively about how you're feeling and how you're coping with things, and maybe taking on too much.
Yeah.
And then getting back to what balance might look like for you. So do you think that going through maybe having a few years behind you of not struggle, but challenging times, do you think that's really helping you with your how to balance, I suppose, your life now with Book of Mormon?
Yeah, I feel like at that point I was just like working myself to the bone that I didn't really like recognize the burnout within that period of time. And I sort of needed that to sort of like reset my brain, you know, start songwriting, reconnect with like friends and other musicians. And through that, I started auditioning again, and I started my band, and it sort of helped me align my goals a bit more within that period. So, yeah.
Do you reckon the mental health self-discovery aspect of theatre is pretty common among everyone? Do you reckon everyone goes through that same sort of wall when they audition for a show and get in?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I think like the cost of like auditioning, getting rejected, you know, learning music and material in like sometimes in like a short amount of time. Sometimes you might have like a couple of weeks, sometimes you might have a week, you might have like a day, a couple of hours, and just like you're working yourself because you just want this thing. It might cost like your mental health and money out of your pocket and everything, but I guess it's sort of like a way to grow in a sense. It sort of like helps you build your character in that sort of sense. Yeah.
I want to talk a lot about, I suppose, the audition process and what it actually looks like to be a performer in your shoes, and what is involved, and the training and the day-to-day. Maybe we'll start with the auditioning, and just as we're talking about some of this stuff and the processes that you've been involved in and up to this point. Is it harder coming from Tasmania compared to being on the mainland? Obviously, to go to auditions, you're often traveling to Sydney or wherever where the auditions are held. Are any of them online auditions, or you have to go in person?
Yeah, there's self-tapes, and there's definitely like independent like artists out there. I think it's just a bit harder to find access and like figure out where to look for those sort of things. I know, I think at that point I was lucky to sort of build my networks here who sort of like had been in the industry. People like Amanda Hodder, I met people like John O'Hara, people who came from that world and sort of came back to Tasmania and sort of like, hey, how do I get in contact with people in the industry so I can like fly up and like meet these sort of people, and then like obviously find out new challenges in like learning the material and the difficulty of like auditions. And I feel like I didn't really click until I met a woman called like Penny McDonald, who works in a lot of like Alexander technique and changing my thinking when it comes to auditions. You know, not doing it to succeed or fail, but more like
as an exercise.
Yeah, it's like an exercise. It's an opportunity to network and learn and be with other people in the room who are also artists, some who might have like more experience than you, and I guess sort of like a chance to be present, I guess. Yeah. It's sort of like reps in the gym.
Yeah. Was for sure. Was that a bit of a
positive way of thinking about
it's also, I think I've heard people like Arnold Schwarzenegger talk about that. It's like, it's not failure, it's just you're putting the reps, you're putting in the time that it takes to eventually get there. You can't succeed necessarily on your first go.
Yeah.
Very helpful having people in Tasmania that are able to bridge that gap I suppose, as well. So how many auditions did you do, if you don't mind me asking, for Book of Mormon? Like, what's that process for such a big stage show? What does that look like?
Well, this one was like very funny because I did those initial like, God knows how many, like in like 2022, and then I sort of went on to gigging for like, the next 2 years, and then once I feel like I had to like grow, build experience with like my gigs and musicians, and then sort of come back in like a better mind space with that way of thinking. And Book of Mormon was my second audition coming back. Auditioned for like another show, came quite close. And then this one sort of came around, and I think I did maybe like 4 or 5. I had to like send in self-tapes. I filmed it at the conservatorium. I literally in like one of the practice rooms, got into like Logic Pro, recorded the other lines for myself and
That's so good.
did it all myself. It was so
wow.
funny. And then I flew up to Sydney and Melbourne. We did the initial like dance calls and the vocal material that they might give you and bring your own songs.
Oh, wow.
All the way up to like the last one, and I was like put on hold for like ages until you got that one phone call and
Right.
yeah, off to your journey.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Hectic.
Unbelievable.
No, that's crazy. And you said that you basically want to stay on full time, just doing
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
beyond this in Melbourne, we won't talk about Book of Mormon, but beyond this, like say you had until the end of this year with Book of Mormon, are you hoping to try and audition and jump onto another type of production? Like, is that your goal for the next sort of, I don't know, couple of years? Is that your thinking at the moment?
I think in the future, like I'd definitely love to like stay in the industry. I feel like because I've sort of like done all this work leading up to now, it'd probably be a waste not to like utilize it.
Yeah, you're on this journey now. Yeah.
So like, I mean, the Book of Mormon team, they look after you and they've been like so kind to me. So I'll happily like be there for them as much as I can as well. But definitely I've been in the industry going forward and, you know, keep learning. I feel like the learning doesn't really stop no matter where you're at in your life and where you are like in the industry as well. So so many things you can pick up.
You've got such a great head on your shoulders with your thinking around all of this and your approach to it. It's really, really cool. And for someone so young as well, being able to think in that way around not just being success and failure, about it being part of a bigger picture for you and still being a continuous learner throughout that whole thing too is just so important. It means you can be like a sponge and you can just look at anyone who's around you and be picking up on different things and learning from them. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I feel like you sort of have to go through those hard times and sort of remember you can get to the other side of it and like figure out what you can do with those so they're still like useful information. Because there's so many things like around like not booking something, not having anything to sort of like look forward to, not really have anything at the moment in your life, but like what can you do with your time instead? Because sometimes there's so many factors that come into those, like for the auditions, like for example, sometimes rejections just, it isn't always no, sometimes it's just like a not now. You might not fit a certain character or look or sound or whatever, but there's so many things you can learn and you can talk to people, you can talk to like the panels and hey, what can I improve on here, and just like keep working yourself as an artist, I guess. Sort of have to go through those struggles to sort of get to, I guess, the industry, I guess, the job. So.
Yeah.
That's great. It's changed a little bit, like, because I mean, I remember like dance auditions in like, you know, 2013 and stuff. You wouldn't get feedback. You kind of just be told to leave the room. You wouldn't know anything. So it's good to know that feedback is sort of a normal thing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I feel like the industry's like changed a lot, especially with like COVID.
People want to connect.
Yeah, like we're like post-COVID where like jobs were shutting down and people are struggling with finding opportunities. So I feel like when you go into like these auditions, like their panel want you to succeed and they're like willing to help you get there. I guess it's sort of like building those foundations for yourself and sort of working on different pieces. Like for me, it was like going into music and my songwriting and gigging and talking to my teachers and starting like the sessions project with my friends and find that platform to like share your art, but also give people opportunities to share their art too. So I guess that's what those auditions are for as well.
So how did the let's go into the sessions project a little bit.
Well, can we actually pause that? I want to talk a bit more about that, but I want to just stick with this train of thought. Thank you. Can we circle back to this? I want to know, like, so what kind of ongoing training is there with a theatre show like this? Like, what are you doing? What are you, like, week to week? I mean, you have to take care of your fitness because it's high cardio, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You mentioned vocal training. You're a vocalist. Do you have ongoing training with that, or it's just up to you to kind of maintain your own practice and your fitness with that?
Well, it's a bit of both. Like, the company will, like, obviously try and assist you to help you put your best foot forward with these sort of shows as well. But I think, like, as an artist, you sort of have to remember that the job doesn't start just because the job doesn't stop just because you book it as well. Like, you still gotta keep training, you know, like, for a job like this, you still have to make sure you're going to the gym, looking after your cardio, and because it's like getting show fit and looking after your body, your voice, sort of like listen to your instincts, I guess, in that sort of sense. But the job will also, like, offer you ways to improve in that sort of sense. You have your dance captains, you have your vocal coaches, and they're all there for you. So,
and for people who are not vocalists, not musicians, and not theatre people, how do you take care of your voice?
Well, it's a funny question because for me, a lot of what I do is, like, it's a lot of listening to my body. Like, I know not to push myself when I have that adrenaline rush, I guess. And, you know, when you feel like your voice is getting tired, and just like the different remedies, like the teas and the warm-ups. I like to do my own, like, warm-up before any call. Like, I'm there like 2 hours beforehand.
Really?
Warming up my voice. I'm doing my stretches. I'm having to lie down on the floor.
Right.
I'm, like, channeling, like, different animals so I can find my different characters and, you know, all the fun stuff. But it's sort of getting yourself in that right mind space when it comes to that sort of training, I guess.
And that's every night or every before show?
Yeah, it's like every night.
Yeah.
Like, I like to prepare myself before we get into it, you know.
Yeah.
Because we're there like 6 days a week.
Yeah.
So you just want to be putting your best foot forward. You never know who's in the audience, but, like, sort of remember what it was like being in the audience and watching people on stage. Like, you're doing it for those people.
Yes.
And, you know, just because you're tired, you don't want to you don't want to give less of yourself, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess everyone's got their own process because everyone is different and unique. So you get all kinds of weird shit happening.
Yeah.
Backstage, though, wouldn't you?
I'd love to go backstage and see some of that. It would be so funny for me. Yeah.
All the weird noises. We love it. Sometimes it's the warm up. Some people are having, like, their own concerts in their dressing rooms.
Oh,
it's a fun time.
It's great. But that would definitely get you in the mood for it, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah, like, we all look after each other, and you got to find your own process to doing the show. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is there being such, and I've touched on this bit before, being such an up-tempo show, what happens if you're having a crappy day, you're not feeling so great, and you turn up? Like, is it just as soon as you step back behind stage and you're around all the people that are beautiful and supportive people, and there's maybe weird warm-ups happening, that your mood just, like, changes and you kind of just lock in? Or is it like, do you actually have to actively go, okay, I've got to, you know, tap into that stage performer side of me and, like you're saying, give your best to people out in the audience?
Well, it's really funny because, like, we had this conversation, like, before the podcast, but, like, what I've noticed about theatre people, like, they have a weird way of, like, locking in when it comes to, like, shows. But even on those sort of shows where you are feeling tired and, like, off, I guess, like, having to understand of, like, reading the room and understanding other people. Like, some people might want to have their space. You might not be able to give, like, all the energy, but it's still just, like, stepping in. They know when to look into, like, those characters and everything. But everyone will, like, look after you and, like, be understanding, which is lovely. And because it's, like, a full-time job, you can also take a leave and, like, have your mental health days and take your rest as well, which is good, and they'll be understanding all that.
Right. So if you felt like after a double show on a Saturday or something, you push yourself too far and your voice is really sore, you're absolutely able to be like, I'm sorry guys, someone else needs to, like, have you got someone who fills in for you? How does that work?
Yeah, we have, like, these amazing people called swings who who are basically, I mean, they're off stage and on stage, but they've got your back. They'll cover sometimes even like 10 roles at a time.
Right.
They'll be like stepping in for different people.
Jeez.
Sometimes
Yeah, because if you
multiple
tripped
in a
over
week.
during a show and hurt yourself, you
Yeah,
know,
they can like go on for you and like they're there for you. They've learned the show like same time as we have,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they're just incredible. I wish I had their brain sometimes.
Oh,
They're
amazing.
incredible.
Are they touring with you too, or do you pick up
they're
different
touring
people
with
in
us.
different cities?
Yeah, so they're just like there every night.
Yeah.
They're watching the show. They're there to help you, I guess. Yeah, it's
Amazing.
awesome.
God, imagine memorizing the entire script,
Yeah.
not just like one person's part.
But by now you probably have the whole script memorized. No?
I feel like I know my show. Like, I mean, because this is my first contract, I was like, I just want to stick to my one ensemble role. But I feel like you obviously doing it like nearly 300 times now.
Oh.
It's like you know the show quite well.
Yeah. It wouldn't get boring though, because the Book of Mormon, honestly, I could probably watch that 5 or 10 times and still find it just as funny as the first time I see it. It's the
great.
best. It's seriously such a good show. Shall we switch then, Matt, and talk about sessions?
Yeah,
Because you and I have both talked about how we want to pick your brains, Prof, on this and find out more about this. I think it's really, really valuable for our listeners as well.
How do you think, just going back to sessions, firstly, explain the sessions project, and then I want to know how co-producing the sessions project has like informed your career after that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, basically what it was like a arts hub by artists for artists. So it was like the five or six of us. Well, I joined in like later on, but they were like trying to find a platform for artists, no matter how established you were, because we were post-COVID. Like this was like 2023-ish, and you know, venues were shutting down. People were like losing jobs. It was harder to find like opportunities for certain artists as it was like trying to rebuild itself. And we just wanted like a safe, inclusive space for any artist to sort of like share their art, whatever it is, whether you want to like sing, play, act, dance even. And I feel like, I feel like we did it because I feel like a lot of the art is about community. I feel like that's like informed a lot of what I do. And like, we just wanted to do something for the community so we can like all share our art and give people these opportunities.
So good.
It's kind of nice being able to pay it forward, you know, if somebody helped you, and then you can create this, you know, system where everyone gets to sort of have their first time on stage. Sort of thing, you know.
And that's the thing, like, especially with like anyone like coming out of like these schools and not always having an understanding of like how to contact venues or how to set up a gig or, you know, even how to tech or anything like that. Just giving them a space to learn and share and do all those things.
It's brilliant. And it's still around. I think I've seen some stuff from sessions in the last little while.
Yeah, we might jump on like every now and then. Like initially we had it like monthly, because we are also artists. Like we also had our own projects that we wanted to do and work on. So we had to like push back the schedule of it, but we wanted it to be there for anyone that wanted to do stuff. And it sort of like grew into this thing where like people can put on their own gigs too. Like they can come through us. Like you can put your own price to it, because we will never want to put a price on your art, and you know, they can share whatever they want to do wherever, and we'll just hire a venue and
so good, so supportive. I love it so much. This is happening in Hobart as well. So if anyone in Hobart is interested, you can find sessions on Instagram.
Yeah, we have a website. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook. Usually they like go through me. Sometimes they'll like go through like Jacob Golden, who's like the producer.
Absolute legend.
Amazing guy. Like he's definitely like one of the most supportive people like you'll ever meet. Like
he's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
He's amazing.
I used to think that you were everywhere, because it wouldn't like, seriously, I was like, this is one of my first impressions of you. I would just be, because I'm such a tag along. If Matt's at a gig, and at that time Matt was playing in like 15 different bands, so I would be all over Hobart going to all these gigs, and you were there. You've just turned around and like, oh, it's Prof again, Prof's here. And also on Instagram, I was just constantly seeing all of your stories. This was one of my biggest impressions of you, is you're just so supportive of every single person around you, no matter what level they're at, no matter what it is they're doing, what kind of music it is. I feel like you were just making them as visible as possible and there to support as much as possible. And it's such a credit to you to have not only your own shit going on and being as busy as you are, but also being a loud supporter of other people as well. I absolutely love that about you, and it's something that I aspire to as well. So thank you for what you do for everyone and all the people around you. Like, we all love you and appreciate you for that. But Jacob as well, he is everywhere too. Like, I'll be at a gig, I'm like, oh, there's Jacob with his camera. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's brilliant.
I didn't know who he was, and then all of a sudden he was just everywhere. Like, it's like you summoned him. Like you rubbed a fucking lamp and now he's everywhere.
Yeah, it's great. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always doing so. Oh, and also he is involved in the Alexander technique.
Yeah,
stuff.
he's been training in it, and he's done a lot of that work with me as well, with Penny, and they're just amazing. But I mean, that's what the art is about. Like, I like to think of it as like community over comparison.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like a lot of people have been brought up, you know, trying to follow other people's journey, but like we sort of have to go through it together, and you know, that's what the sessions was about, and how we can sort of help people build their careers as well.
We're going to link some stuff about that in our show notes and everything as well, and on Instagram. So if people that are listening are intrigued by this or just want to know more, we'll make sure that you're able to find those pages. We'll make sure that they're linked in.
That's right, I'll cut the gap out.
We do that. Every now and then we have like a weird pause where we're like,
Like, we recorded an episode on Monday or Sunday. And there was just a point.
I was thinking of a word.
It was almost as long as this. This has been a really engaging one. So we haven't had to really think super hard. But we were like, we just went brain dead. For like,
we should have stopped the episode a while ago. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was going to ask a little bit about, is this natural for you? Do you think that growing up, you were kind of not destined for this, but are you ever nervous on stage?
Prophecy.
Oh yeah, prophecy, exactly. Are you ever nervous on stage? Is that something that you had to work on, or it's just gotten easier the more experience you've had?
I always get nervous. I grew up like a shy, quiet kid in the corner. Like, I know it's weird when you look at the stuff that I do, because I'm like on stage whenever I can be, and like naturally on stage you just want to come alive and do your thing. But like growing up, I think moving place to place, I wouldn't say I was like destined for it, but it sort of like led up to what I do, and sort of like built that resilience to sort of like do this sort of career. So then when I did the gigs, I didn't mind just like doing them week to week, so then I can like sort of come do this and do it day by day, and you know, build my career in that sort of sense.
Does your natural kind of personality help you with the rejection that you faced, or is that also something that you've had to work on? You touched on it a little bit before, but I just want to...
I think it's something that you'll have to work on, and like how you approach it and how you want to take it as well. I definitely struggled with it like initially, which is why I decided to step back from it like in 2023 after the burnout. I was like, let me just sit back, you know, figure out who I was, no auditions, no shows. And I was like, let me just like do my own thing for a bit, like figure out my journey a bit. But I guess over time, sort of like understand what it sort of takes to sort of do this sort of thing, and build the building blocks to it, I guess. Yeah,
emotions and mental health are a lot like an iceberg. You know, like you only ever see, including yourself, you only ever see that little piece above the water, but then there's all this other stuff that you got to pay attention to as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Is it hard going into a massive theatre production or trying to jump into that industry and not coming from a major institution like, say, NIDA or something like that? Do you think that there's a real sort of difference between people that have persisted and then not had that elite training that some people obviously have accessibility to? Like I'm thinking about NIDA and a few of those other major institutions, WAPA. Yeah. Do you think there's a difference?
I think those people obviously have like more knowledge in that sort of world and how to navigate it. I feel like my journey has never been like the traditional way of like getting into the industry, and I sort of had to like figure out how to path my own way. part of my own way in that sort of sense. So there's definitely like a lot of more pressure that you sort of feel in that sort of space when you don't have like the same sort of like upbringing and training as some of the other people will have in the room. But I think if anything, I've sort of learned that it is possible no matter where you are. Like if you keep persistent in that sort of world and, sort of like set that up for yourself, you gotta have that, build that confidence in yourself in that sort of sense, and you can sort of make anything happen.
Is there a class system in theatre with people that come from places like WAPA or wherever?
I mean, I haven't come across it yet. Like I've noticed that the theatre community is a community. Like everyone's so supportive. They have the Thirsty Thursdays where all the shows will meet and have a drink, and like everyone catches up, and it's a fun time.
That's
and
great.
So many of them.
People go to each other's shows.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's a very like supportive community, and I'm so grateful for that as well. There's like so many things you can learn in like other industries from like the theatre community, and like how disciplined and supportive they can be as well. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Something I like to think about is that every stage actor has had to piss in a sink at some point.
Jesus.
It's a good way to put it.
Wow.
It's just like a backstage sink with like a costume on, and just like having to like hike it up and like find where like an opening is.
What a great visual.
So with all that dignity on stage, there is a very undignified side that I think everyone has gone through.
What theatre productions have you been involved in? My goodness.
Oh, amateur.
So then if you were going to pinpoint something with what actually got you the role in Book of Mormon, timing, persistence, obviously talent, and training, how would you kind of think about what it was that what it really took to get where you are?
I think it's building your character more than anything. I mean, talent opens doors, but I think your character keeps it open, that sort of sense. And you gotta keep at it. And as an artist, you sort of just because you don't have work right now, you can sort of like build that for yourself. Like as an artist, you can sort of like keep creating, find workshops, find classes. These are all just like things that sort of like build up to wherever you want to get to, and you sort of have to. It's going to cost a bit, sometimes emotionally, sometimes financially.
Yeah.
But I think it's all going to like build up to your career and help you out in that sort of sense. Yeah, I think it's like building your character and setting that up for yourself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, it's not necessarily something you can answer, and I suppose everyone's going to have a different answer to that. I like sort of picking people's brains with that. For you, is it important to have a lot of different creative projects on the go because you are still producing and releasing music whilst working full time in this industry? Is that a conscious decision that you've made?
I think so. I think I've always like grown up, like I'm used to like being busy. Like it's sort of been my character, like always. Like I've always liked to keep creative, and like we talk about burnout, but then like my way of like getting through burnouts, I've been creative in my own way. I don't know.
I get it.
It's like I guess being resilient in that sort of sense, and I know understanding yourself. I guess just like keep exploring, keep learning. Yeah.
I've got a couple of final questions. Matt, was there anything burning in your brain that you really wanted to get to or talk to Prof about?
No, I've just been enjoying listening, honestly. I'm not in this podcast.
No,
I'm listening to this podcast.
Do I talk too much?
No. You're asking really good questions and you're giving really good answers, and I'm just in the middle, which is great.
Sometimes I feel like my questions are not very well worded, so
but to fix that, we have Prof.
Exactly. So eloquent.
Amazing.
You make us sound great. Thanks, Prof.
Yeah, this is exactly what the podcast is kind of meant to be geared towards, this kind of conversation. So it's good.
One of my final questions for you. If someone wanted to be in a major musical in, say, 5 years' time, what should they be doing now?
I could say like so many things. I think keep creating whilst you're waiting.
Yeah.
Like produce, collaborate, go to workshops, go to classes. I think building a character, you know, it's the little things, being prepared, being adaptable, being kind. I guess training even whilst working and like learning to take care of your instruments early as well.
Yeah.
You want to sustain your career like in the long run because it is a long game and like you don't want to burn yourself out in that sort of sense. Understand your body and voice and how you navigate your mental health in that sort of sense. But yeah, I think just like keep building. You know, the world needs your art and you gotta keep going. So
I love that. That's awesome. If performing disappeared tomorrow, what part of it would you grieve the most?
The feeling.
Yeah, cool.
It's so funny. I don't know, performing, it's almost like a drug. Like the response that you get and the feeling that you get of like making people feel something and the adrenaline, the energy. I think that's why I do it. It's like how, like I said, like how it affects me and how it affects the people in the room. So yeah, I guess just the feeling of it all.
Do you remember one of the first times that you looked out onto a big audience and saw all of the faces just like smiling up at you or just staring? Do you remember that?
I think it was our first band gig. Like when I formed our Unearthly Frequencies band and we did our first gig, which was like Dark Mofo 2023.
Where I hurt my wrist, yep.
Yeah.
Cold.
Oh no.
RSI from the cold. So they better have fucking enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was such a fun gig, but like, I mean, it was so cold, but like just the response that we were getting and, you know, the supportive nature of it and like bringing people together, the amount of people that would like surround the stage just to hear your art and what you have to write and say and that adrenaline and just like sharing with your friends.
It's quite validating and affirming, isn't it? Those sort of moments.
It's really nice playing an event where it's, even if you're not performing, it is very apparent that people are just there to just enjoy your show.
Yeah.
Almost regardless of what it is. You know what I mean? And then if you put on a good show, you just get an extra massive reaction.
Yeah, 100%. That was like always special because I like got to do it with like my friends that we all studied together and it was sort of like this like gig that we just wanted to put on with like an artist that I really felt inspired by and we just got to put on this fun gig. So yeah.
If people want to find you, reach out, get in touch or just follow along your amazing journey, how can they find you? What's the best sort of places?
I'm very vocal on my Instagram. So you can follow my Instagram, Prophecy Mudzingwa. I try to release music as much as I can, so you can find my music on any major streaming platform and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yeah, amazing. Look, thank you so much for joining us here. It's absolutely awesome to speak to you. I love how open you are and how caring you are with sharing your story and your perspectives, and I'm sure all of our listeners will get so much out of this as well. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And remember, you're African, but I am Africa. All right. Bye.
Love.
Bye.
Oh, thank you. That was fun.
Thanks again for listening to our podcast. You can find us on Instagram at different.strokes.podcast. This is where the majority of our content will be.
And if you've got any suggestions for guests that you want to hear on the show, you can email us at ds.podcast.melb@gmail.com. So that's Melb as in MELB for Melbourne. And remember, the way that this show grows is if you're sharing it with your friends and subscribing to us wherever it is that you listen to your podcasts.
Bye.